All right, so I want to share that before we get into this sequence or series, it's really important to have been practicing the Maharic shielding technique. I did want to correct myself on some of the things that I looked back and I noticed were errors. For example, the Song of Lyra, I made a pronunciation error. So I am going to go through that one again and correct myself this time so that you're aware of how to properly sing that. Because the tonal sequence of that sound and the tonal geometry that you create in your morphogenetic field is critical. With when we're speaking Anuhasi, it's really important to get that correct. I am learning how to do that myself. I'm in other groups and communities where we sing and we learn the songs. I'm going to share with you those groups so that you can join if you want, because I recommend them. So I'm going to introduce to you the AM/PM grid. Here it is. I'll share this little screen. Oops. Okay. This one is a graphic made first and foremost from Christic Symbiosis AAA. That is a Facebook group that I highly recommend. Wonderful resources. James Pover has created some graphics like this that really help people kind of grasp the information in an easier and tangible way. I am sharing his stuff because I have been in his group for a while now. I work with James and his Christic choir, which is where we are practicing singing the Psonns, and I highly recommend him as somebody that can present information in a way that's accessible. And he's very patient and very kind. And so far, so good. It's been wonderful to be in his community. So if you're looking for a community, I would recommend at this point, this one. All right. However, in saying that, I'm aware that the attitudes and responsibilities for mastery is a critical step, because when you read and reflect on that manual and you meditate on the mantras, you're also reflecting on yourself and your own behavior. And then you're also aware of other people's behavior and what is just not Christic and not with the law of one. So in saying that, when you are in these groups, not everybody is practicing that. Not everybody is embodying those 12 principles. And you're going to notice who you probably maybe don't align with as a result of that. You're going to notice behavior. And I'm saying that because I'm doing this because discernment is really important for me. I fell into some spiritual traps, just like pretty much everybody here, I'm sure. And I found myself in trouble. And so I thought to myself, how can I actually be discerning when I expect that everyone's nice? Everyone should be a good person, right? How can I be discerning? Well, this is why I'm on this path, because this is how you get discerning. This is how you understand and feel out people. The attitudes and responsibilities for mastery is a good rubric of as to what you expect from yourself and what you expect from others on this journey. If anybody is not embodying that, they are not your teacher, they are not your partner, and they are not somebody that you could be working with at this time if you want to really stay in integrity, right? A lot of people are struggling with healing themselves. So if somebody is exhibiting behaviors that is not aligned with the ANRs, I would suggest that they have implants, miasms, and maybe worse, right? So this is where my discernment comes in. Whenever you develop yourself in the freedom teachings and you're embodying more techniques and you're healing your grid, you're going to feel out people. You're going to feel their matrix, where their soul matrix is from, what energies they're wearing, and you're going to kind of get a feel right away. And then that will be your discernment. It's really just coming from inside. So this is why I'm passionate about this, because this gives me certainty of protecting myself as a spiritual person, because we all need that. Okay. The AM/PM grid. Whenever you begin this, you say it out loud in the morning and at night, AM/PM. This is something that I put into my practice as a daily practice. Like I have my list of, I want to sing the AM/PM I am, or say it and state it. Last time I did the Christiac intention, declaration of intention. That's one option too. You can do this one instead, or both. So you say it out loud, and you can say it out loud with me. You can mute your mic so that it's not choppy in the recording, or you can definitely, I'll post this in our group. You can print it off, have it with you. You can go in and thank James for making it in his Christic Symbiosis Facebook group. All right, so here we go. AM/PM I am. Linguistic template reprogramming power grid. I am the one with the cosmic mind. I am held gently at all times within the love of the original one, the true God of creation. I am strong and resolute in my calling. I hear the call of my secret original divine self, my God self leading me home. I am clear of mind and vision as the knowing of my God self flows through me at all times. I am in this moment fully embraced by my God self and its connection to the original God. I am at peace in the face of anger. I am calm in the face of chaos. I am filled with the glowing essence of divine love, through which I am healed. I am the vessel for original truth and wisdom. I am the conduit for original love. I am the living expression of the sacred law of one. I am harmless yet powerful. I am humble yet knowing. I am the expression of eternal love, light, truth, and power. I carry the will of the original one through all of my moments, allowing the divine to touch others through me. I am whole now. I am peace now. I am wisdom now. I am divine love now. And so it is. So by stating this out loud in the morning and before you go to bed, really sets the tone. What this does is it calls in more essence of your Christic being, who you really are. And it's a great way to start your day. So I say this out loud, and then I sing the Song of Lyra. So I'm going to now, share the Song of Lyra. So the invocation of the Maharata, the Song of Lyra. You read the title and you say this whole piece, and then you begin to sing. You can sing along with me. I'm going to go sing it slow. And I'm going to correct that piece that I made a mistake on. From this still point of my wholeness and manifest decision, I decree in sovereign Christic knowing, here expressed at my command, the divine will and intention of the one self that is one God, the one self that is one God, this I am. Maharata Kumbai Vectus. Nikki, or if you have a spiritual name. Invokai un iblium by vectai. Before I said an evoki, it's invokai. That's the correction. By vectai un ure unam ur. Iste unte isa traja hera. Petate ashelum Ta-A-sha in Ta-Do-A. Shadayure akumtan akumtan. Shadayure akumtan akumtan. Shadayure akumtan. So you would sing this 3 times, or as many times as you like. And if you sing it slowly, even better. And again, you're creating that tonal geometry in your fields. And while you're singing it, you can also imagine do the Maharic shielding full meditation. One thing I want to share about the full meditation is breathing. The breath is vital here. You breathe it up, you breathe it down, and you want to breathe large like that and make a sound and be forceful. You're directing it with your breath. That was what Ashiana Dean had talked about. And this is what people do when they do the meditation. So I imagine in my pineal, breathe it down into the core of the earth, 13th chakra. Bring it back up with a cord. Bring it down below my feet, create the shield. Trying to imagine and feel, breathe it up. You know, and the more you breathe up, the more you pull up the Maharic field energy frequency into your body and into your shield and expanding it, where then it takes a life of its own and it comes up around you. You use your imagination and you be playful, create the pillar, and then you just direct your breath to do that. Okay. One thing I want to share with you is, I'm going to try to do another share because there's a really good graphic now. I'm sure you've been at least a week of doing this breath exercise and meditation. And so what you can do is you can start using the Eckasha. This is the symbol. I'm sure you've seen it before. What this symbol is it is the capstone symbol or God seed code for the time matrix. Eckasha. Each of those sounds represents an aspect of the time matrix that we're in. So it is a sacred symbol. It is a powerful symbol. There is a song for it too, and I will teach you that one as well. Instead of the Maharic shield, you can instead use this. You can use a black and white version if it's too complex of a symbol, or you can stick to the Maharic shielding Hierophant symbol if this is a bit much for you right now. I visualize it to the best of my ability, trying to bring in some of the elements of it and the colors. And I do the same with the meditation, but instead with this. Okay, so that's what I would ask you to do. I will also post maybe other people's version of this meditation with the Eckasha symbol that you can watch on YouTube that are really good walkthroughs. But I won't do that here with you today because we have a lot to do. But you can start to now develop your meditation process using this symbol for at least another week. And then we can go into the quick seal. And I'll make probably a recording of that so that you can just listen and go along with the quick seal so that you don't have to do the full. Because at that point, I'm sure you would have brought enough of the Maharic frequency into your field that you don't need to do the full anymore. You can move to the quick seal. It's just a shorter, briefer meditation, same idea. You kind of do it in like a few breaths, and some people have done it for so long that they don't need to do it anymore because it's an automatic programming of their systems, know what to do every morning, every evening kind of thing. And it's just like you breathe and it's done. Boom, I'm on with my day. And so that's hopefully where we get to, right? And this is all coming from my opinion, my impression, going through some of these things. Now, this is also created by the Facebook group. This is where I found it, in the Christic Symbiosis Facebook group. Okay. Just want to make sure I got everything. Okay. So one thing I want to say is whenever we get into the high Vecca codes in the next few sessions, we're going to use optical pineal induction technique. I wanted to revisit this because you can absolutely do it with the Eckasha, and you can do it with the Maharic shielding Hierophant symbol, right? So basically, I will share this graphic with you, and this is what is happening. You're breathing into your pineal gland, the symbol. So it is imprinting into your field in a way. These are my words. You're going to use a cross-eyed focus when you stare at the symbol, kind of like you get a little lazy and, you kind of see double, almost like you feel really sleepy and you're not really focusing and you gaze a little bit. That's the effect you're having with it, okay? And then, of course, you're going to breathe it in. You're imagining that you're pulling it into your pineal gland whenever it's in its double vision, and you suck it up into your pineal gland. And that's how you use this process called optical pineal induction. That's when you're really clearly embodying, taking into your sixth chakra and embedding and inducing this scalar technology, this sacred geometry into your system, right? So this is a method that we're going to take a look at and be introduced to when we introduce new symbols to help activate and open up seals and things like that, and to do the clearing. It's a very powerful way and I think it's required, especially with the Vecca codes. This is a Vecca code as well, this Eckasha. So any of these symbols are codes, and this is how we take them in, okay? And have them in our systems so that we can then utilize them and they are imprinted within us. So that is something that I want you to know, because that is absolutely what we're going to be doing whenever we look at the high Vecca codes. And I want you to do it whenever you're looking at the Eckasha symbol, whenever you transition to using that with your Maharic shielding technique instead, okay? You do that when you feel ready. You do it when you feel called. There's a general timeline, but you do it when you feel ready. You have an inner guidance too. Nobody else is a master but you, okay? So I walked through a few items on my list here I wanted to get through for sure. And today, what I want to do is I want to look at awakening the inner mentor and sequence 1 and 2 of activating the Kathara grid. Okay. Somebody in our group, I'm going to share another one if I can. I know there's a lot of sharing of images, which is good, right? We like pictures. Okay. So somebody within the Telegram group said that they were working through the basic techniques and the basic 15th dimensional time matrix, and it's difficult to understand. It is. I revisit it often. There's a lot going on in this map. It's crazy. And there's all these chakras that we never even knew we had. And so we're relearning. And that's okay to feel a little intimidated by this heavily detailed graphic and the information that comes along with it, which is like layered stuff going on. There's a lot going on within our energetic systems. So we're learning it. And we have to make it basically our general information has to be general information at this point. At the time of Atlantis, we all knew this, and that information has been lost on purpose and destroyed on purpose. And we haven't had access to it until recently, thanks to the Guardians and the MCEO, Emerald Order. So we have 15 chakras in this 15th dimensional time matrix. Each chakra is related to that dimensional space. What are the dimensions? You can't imagine them just like this. Imagine it like you're inside an egg and there's layers of that egg. You have access to all of it, but you're locked from it. So what you're doing is you're unlocking, healing, and connecting to those dimensional consciousness realities. Okay. And this is the Incension process. It isn't outside of us. It's all dealing with within. So when we do the meditations, we're going within, unlocking, opening, and activating chakras within our system, which will then allow us to have higher access to these other dimensional spaces that we have all around us. And so that is the Incension process. That is the awakening process. That is the, evolving as a spiritual human process, is that. And that's what I will say, generally speaking. This is how I envision what this is meaning for us, how we look at this and understand it. That's generally what I would say. Okay. There are many people who will maybe explain it a little differently according to how they feel about it. But I feel like that when you visit this material, you're going to embody your own wisdom and understanding of it. As you develop and as you heal aspects of yourself, it's going to land in because you already know it. It's just revisiting it and having it become part of your awareness because you've developed space for it, right? It will make sense. So I will share this image as well. So maybe you can print it out or have it available, just reflect on it more. I know that there's a man named Christos Avatar, and he made his own map. And I was even thinking of buying it just to kind of look at it, because I think that he lays it out in a way that's digestible, right? It's easier to comprehend. I don't have it though. And I don't know if I would recommend that actually. Best to stick to the original freedom teachings, but it's always nice for me and the way I learn to hear from other people and how they translate that, right? I hope that it would help you anyway, but know that your inner reflection on it is what you need above anybody else's inserted opinion on it, right? But that's hopefully helpful for you. And that's why we're doing the codes and breathing them in. It changes and activates and clears and opens different aspects of our very complex energetic system within our bodies. And this will help us have access to those higher dimensional awarenesses. So I'm sure you're already aware that each layer has a type of Huva body in it, okay? We have several Huva bodies, and the idea is to have access to those higher aspects, higher consciousness Huva bodies, the higher self, the soul, the oversoul, like the Reishi, those are all the Huva bodies, generally speaking, that we can have access to. I hope I got that correct. I'll have to look at my notes again. And so what we're doing is whenever we expand the expansion, which is happening from the inside, we're getting access to higher dimensional awareness. And that's who we are. We just don't have access to it. We actually know everything. We just don't have access right now. So that's why bioregenesis, clearing, healing, and bringing in more aspects of yourself so that you can have skills like feeling somebody's, seeing what they're thinking. Like there's so many things that we actually can do. We have more senses than just these 5 in the human body, right? A lot of people already have them. Some are born with them already, depending. So interesting. It's just interesting dialogue and discussion. We can come back to it. I apologize. I spent more time on that than I wanted to. But I think what I want to do is I want to introduce to you awakening the inner mentor. So while you're doing the Maharic shielding technique, you can awaken the inner mentor. And I do want to share something about the inner mentor. So just briefly, I will explain. So we have the Huva bodies of the personal anatomy, which contain portions of our higher dimensional awareness. We can begin to access the awareness by building a bridge between the third dimensional self, which is the incarnate matrix self, and to the higher identity aspects of ourself. Okay, so we can do that, and which can expedite the DNA template activation and the organic evolution process. So the mentor technique, which we're going to do today, assists in building the perceptual bridge and activates the dormant Kathara lines of our level 1 Kathara grid to open communication between our D3 and our density 2, D4, and 5 levels of awareness. So it is a part of our awareness, the mentor, that is composed of the 3rd, 4th, and 5th dimensional frequencies of consciousness, which exist as quantity of scalar wave patterns that span densities 1 and 2. The mentor focus will be used in Kathara healing for guidance, information retrieval, and objective observation. So that's why it's important. When you use this method, you can then get some guidance from your higher aspect of yourself, get information on things you're needing to know from your aspects of your higher self, and have an opportunity to observe something at a distance and get clarity on situations. Okay, very useful. This is when we want to be able to trust ourselves in, and we can do that with the mentor. It can also be used to access cellular memory and the inner child if you're doing inner child work, remote viewing, dream work. Okay, this is why it's important to have access to our higher dimensional selves. So it's very exciting, and it's something that I'm going to show you in practice how to begin and to embody. And we will do this meditation together. I'll walk you through it, and I'm also going to show you where I got the instructions from. They are located in KS1, the Basic Bioregenesis for Beginners manual. And there was a lovely man who I don't know very well, but I loved the resources that he created. I'm going to show you those now. That was the wrong share. Hang on. Too many windows open. Okay. Interesting. Oh, it must be this. Apologies. I got it now. Okay. So this is what we're going to go through. This document I can share with you. I will show you where it came from. Again, I'm sorry, I'm switching out all the screen share options. Okay. So here is his website, Randy Keith, and he accepts donations for the work that he's done. He's got a book you can check out. He's got Awakening the Inner Mentor, which is a document that he created. He's got sequence 1 and 2 of the Kathara points, which is a document he created, kind of making it more digestible and simplifying what from the freedom teachings, right? And then he's got the quick seal here. You can totally look at some of the other things and resources that he's created. He has a YouTube channel. It's always nice to kind of look at the work that other people have done to help bring this information out there into the public, right? So that's why I wanted to share that with you. You can visit his website. I'll provide the link as well, because I always like to reference the work that I'm sharing is not done by me. Okay. So this document I have available, and we're going to go through it together, and hopefully I can do it in a meditation style so that you can have access to embodying it right now. So here we have the basics of the grid, the Kathara grid here, and all those points. You should be somewhat aware of them at this point, because that's basic Kathara healing scientific information about our systems. Oh, I wanted to do the Awakening the Inner Mentor. And so we're going to do this as well, but we're going to do the Awakening of the Inner Mentor first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to, there's so much I wanted to share with you. It's difficult for me to stay organized. I apologize. Okay. Awakening the Inner Mentor. If you click on here, it will load the document. You can download the document. Okay. So here is a bit of information, just like as I described, about why we're doing it and what it's doing and what it was used for. Okay, so here's technique 1, awakening the mentor. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to play just some nice soothing music to get us kind of relaxed. We have to sit in an upright position. Hopefully you're ready. And I'm going to walk through some of these here for you. And there are images for you to visualize what to do if you want to have your eyes open and look. I don't think I can share my screen and sound at the same time, unfortunately. Maybe we'll go without music. How do you guys feel about that? It's fine. Okay. Yeah. One day Zoom will be advanced and we can do both sharing screen and music. I don't think the music will work at all unless I share music and remove the sharing screen properly. So we'll just get right into it. Okay. Oh, so sitting nicely, nice and tall in your seat where you are with feet planted on the floor. You're going to imagine a beautiful blue flame inside your body, just behind the navel. Place your fingers where your navel is and just gently massage that area while imagining a blue flame behind your navel. In the center of that blue flame, you're going to see, imagine, or sense a white sphere inside it. Even more interesting, you're going to imagine a small version of yourself standing inside that white sphere, which is in that blue flame behind your navel. Now, with a breath, move that white sphere up to your pineal gland. And imagine it inside your pineal gland for a moment. Feel it there, sense it there. And then move it out over your right shoulder, outside of your body, over your right shoulder. And this is your mentor. Take a moment to recognize that ball of energy over your right shoulder. Feel it, tune into it. Feel it as a fuzzy ball of energy. Practice shifting your focus of your attention to the fuzzy mentor ball of energy on your right shoulder, and then back into your usual focus. Back to the mentor focus. Notice the difference. And back to your usual focus. Now, expand the mentor, make it grow bigger over your right shoulder, the size of a basketball. Inhale, draw it around your head as if your head is inside the basketball. That is the mentor surrounding your head. Good. It is still a white sphere vibrating all around your head. Now you're going to inhale, shrink up, then contract that mentor into the pineal gland as a small sphere of white light. And then exhale, push the mentor out of the pineal gland through the sixth chakra into the blue-violet tunnel of the sixth chakra spiral. So imagine in front of you, straight ahead, a sixth chakra blue-violet tunnel that the mentor has shot out from straight ahead of you. And then inhale it back into the sixth chakra. Now that we have that visual down, let's try it again. Inhale, shrink up the mentor in your pineal gland, send it out with an exhale, and see it go through this blue-violet tunnel, which is your sixth chakra spiral. Inhale back into your pineal gland. Next, exhale the mentor down to this fifth chakra at your throat. And now you're going to exhale and do the same, but this time it is a blue-green tunnel from your throat chakra that you send the mentor out. Inhale back in to the fifth chakra at the throat. Let's just try that one more time now that we know. Exhale, mentor, out of the fifth chakra, blue-green tunnel. Inhale it back into the throat. Good. Now inhale and send that mentor back up into your pineal gland. And now exhale it back out onto over the right shoulder again where it once was. Good. We have now activated the mentor. And it is there over your right shoulder for when you are specifically needing some guidance from aspects of your higher self. Okay, wonderful. That is how you activate the sixth and seventh senses, and you can pull in information, get guidance. This is a wonderful practice to begin to pull in more awareness that is coming from you. Okay. This document was great. I used it for my own practice. You could do this when you feel called, every day if you want, until you get used to your mentor and the feeling of it being there and how you shift your consciousness, not from your usual focus, but from a higher aspect of focus. And that's how it's done. Okay. The next thing that I want to look at is the sequence 1 and 2 of the Kathara points. This is a good way of pairing your practice with the inner mentor practice. I'm just going to go through this, and then today we are complete. We can then have short discussion if we want on anything that's coming up. Now, having the awareness that we have these Kathara points, there is a nice time in with yourself you can do with it to start to activate some of these points. We're going to do sequence 1 of the Kathara points, and we're going to do then sequence 2 to close. So this is how I would explain it. I did kind of highlight some of the main points of this. So sequence 1, Kathara points open the energy gateways within the Kathara lines of the Kathara level 1 to 12 tree grid, okay, to receive electrotonal reprogramming. So this will help bring in your imprint for health. It will help revitalize and energize you by opening up these, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the 14 points, and we're going to breathe nice and slowly and deeply. Imagine a flow of energy running from the Maharic shield, 12 inches below your feet, up into your body, and rub the Kathara points with the fingertips for 10 to 20 seconds each, following this precise sequence. So we're going to start now, breathing up that Maharic shield that we hopefully set up this morning. If not, then you can take a quick moment to do your meditation and visualize that Maharic shield being open and activated below your feet and pulling up that beautiful silver, bright light silver energy frequency into your field. So what we're going to do is breathe slowly and deeply and gently rub, number 1, the crown. And we can do this now together and just noticing how we feel after. I like doing this exercise. It's very relaxing. And again, temples 2 and 3 on either side, just gently massage, gently rub. These are our other Kathara points on our temples. Good. Breathing slowly and deeply. Point number 4 is at the base of the skull. So right at, well, the base of the skull. I forget the name of the bone that's there, but you'll find your spot that feels nice. It isn't on the bone, just below. Okay. Sometimes we get a sore neck back there. There's reasons why. Okay. Now 5 and 6 is a little awkward. We have to actually, I use my thumbs and I hook them behind me. And I try to get behind me and massage with my thumbs below our shoulder blades. Just try to find a point and just try to massage a little bit back there. And you could play around with the area a little bit. I'm not as flexible when I go backwards like that, so I may not be able to reach properly, but maybe you can. Below the shoulders, points 5 and 6, breathing deeply and slowly. Good. Now the abdomen in from the hips. Take some fingers, maybe just 2, and find those points. You may need to lay back a little bit, sit back. And it's just where your hip bones are, in and up a little bit. Somewhere in there. And you might notice the feeling. You'll find it. You'll know, like, that's the spot. You'll just know. Allow your inner guidance to go with that and not worry about being so precise. And massaging there for a few 10 to 20 seconds. You can be there as long as you want. If you want to be there longer, I recommend that. Okay. Good. And then back of the knees. So just feel into, maybe you have to sit up from your chair a little bit and just rub in behind your knees. These are all the Kathara points that we are opening those energy gateways within the Kathara lines. We're bringing up that Maharic shielding frequency, that silver light, platinum ray, and allowing that energy to come into these points. These points could be locked, blocked, right? And so we're opening them up, and then the energy will clear those areas. Okay. And then 11 and 12, soles and top of feet. You can do one at a time, but I think you're supposed to do them at the same time. And so that's mean bending over. Good. Continue that for as long as you like. Know that this is nice to do with a partner too. If you have a partner in your life and you're both practicing some of these things, you can do this for each other. And it's a nice way to connect with somebody and to relax and give each other a light massage. Remember, we're not pressing hard, just gently, and maybe massage circles with our fingers. Okay. All right. And then the next one is the fourth chakra, number 13, which is right here. Right where our breastbone is, I suppose, a little bit higher than the breast area. Wonderful. So we're building up energy in these points, okay? And allowing that Maharic frequency to come in to these points and clear them. And then, of course, the sixth chakra right here, breathing deeply right here in our pineal gland area. There's always it always feels really good to press in here. Sometimes I do this just for fun. Like, it just feels nice. I really like it. Okay. Good. And that is the sequence that you would go through. So we are activating these mini energetic vortex points in the body. They are connected to the dyadic points. One thing I want to mention is they are opening the energy gateways to the Kathara lines. We are realigning disharmonic patterns of frequency running through the holographic program, right? So like I said, we're opening these up, and that Maharic shield or Maharic frequency is coming in and clearing. Okay. So the sequence 1 points regenerate and rebalance the Kathara core first, which creates more lasting but less immediate changes in the body. So it's more longer lasting, right? Sequence 2 closes. Oh, we have a friend coming in. Sequence 2 will close the Kathara lines if they are opened and draw energy from the Maharic shield directly into the bioenergetic field and physical cells rather than the core Kathara grid, creating more immediate but temporary revitalization of the body. So the next step is how to close them, and then we're going to have an immediate burst of feeling revitalized and energetic. So let's go into 2. Sequence 2, Kathara points for revitalization. Again, we're doing the same thing. Imagine the energy running from the Maharic shield below the feet. Gently rub the Kathara points for 10 to 20 seconds, following this precise sequence. Okay, so 1 and 2 is neck below the ears. I know we have glands here, and I feel that it is part of that gland area, but also below it too. And again, you're going to feel intuitively breathing in that Maharic shielding energy, that silver white light to clear these areas. Next, we're going to go into the 3 and 4 below the cheekbones. There's like a little indent here. Massaging here. Breathing deeply again, right? It's a great way to spend time with yourself. It could be part of your morning practice. Base of tailbone is tricky. So what I do is I go in behind and I find the buttock area, obviously, and then you're feeling out where you would determine the base of your tailbone is, because it's like a little bit above, I guess, where your butt crack would start. I hate to say that word, but I don't have a better one. Sorry, guys. I'm being real. And I would massage here for a little bit. And that's where I would feel that my tailbone is, right? Because we don't think about our tailbone that much, but we're going to have to. That's where what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my gosh. The Kundalini energy it roots from, right? Okay. And then the thymus, the last one, is here at the neck area. And so you're going to find that there is like our bone here. I think it's called the clavicle, but it's in the middle, right? And so gently massaging this area, breathing and imagining that silver bright white light coming up into our system and really cleansing and healing this area and releasing miasms or blocks or implants or whatever is resting here. Okay, good. So this is what we have done. We have looked at the AM/PM grid. We sang the Song of Lyra. We talked about pineal induction, which comes into play with the high Vecca codes. We talked about the importance of the attitudes and responsibilities of mastery and how discernment comes into play. We talked about awakening the inner mentor in sequence 1 and 2. And that will conclude our time today.